Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. So look, today we are absolutely not going to waste your time with that tired old advice about skipping your daily latte, right? Because we all know the math on a $5 coffee just doesn't add up to some multi-million-dollar retirement anyway. Instead, we're going to dig into the invisible equations that are actually running our lives behind the scenes. I was honestly blown away when I discovered the hidden math keeping so many of us trapped on this endless hamster wheel. You know the feeling, where it just seems to be moving slightly faster than you can actually run? Today we are taking aim at the absolute ultimate financial trap. We're talking about lifestyle inflation.
Okay, let's dive into this with a totally hypothetical but maybe highly relatable situation. And I want you to be completely honest with yourself here. Picture this. You've been grinding away for years, and you finally land that massive promotion at work. They offer you a $10,000 raise. Boom! You feel incredible, right? You feel like you've literally finally made it. So, what happens next? Well, to celebrate all that hard work, you immediately upgrade your apartment to that gorgeous new complex across town. And maybe you trade in your reliable, perfectly fine, paid-off car for a luxury SUV with a $500 monthly payment. Why not? Because you worked hard, and let's face it, you feel like you deserve to treat yourself.
But then, we hit the wall. A full year goes by. You pull up your bank account on your phone, and you realize a really terrifying truth. Somehow, despite that 10 grand bump in your salary, you actually have less cash left over at the end of the month than you did before the promotion. And on top of that, you are just completely exhausted. You're working way harder in your new role than you ever have before, taking on more responsibility, dealing with more stress, but your savings account is just totally flat. How in the world does this happen?
Well, it happens because of a fundamental lie we've essentially been sold since the moment we graduated. Society constantly tells us that our personal value and our wealth are strictly defined by our annual salary. We look at that gross income number and we just assume, yep, that equals wealth. But hold on, think about the reality of running a normal business. Looking at revenue without looking at expenses is literally how companies go bankrupt. And here's the absolutely crucial point we miss. When it comes to your career, you are the business. The product being sold here is actually you, and yet we completely, totally ignore our own cost of goods sold. Think about a local bakery for a second. If that bakery sells $1 million worth of bread in a year, wow, that sounds amazing, right? $1 million bakery. But what if they spent over $1 million on the flour, the yeast, the massive ovens, and the ridiculous rent for their storefront? That bakery is worth absolutely zero. In fact, it's actually losing money. So, when you take a promotion for more money, yes, you are increasing your revenue, obviously. But almost always, that promotion comes with exponentially higher costs just to operate you. Let's look at how rapidly these hidden vampire costs just suck the life out of your new money the absolute second you get that new title. Step 1. Because of how progressive tax brackets work, a massive chunk of that new $10,000 is instantly shaved down by the government. You never even see it. Step 2. Well, now you're a manager, so you're working late every single night. You don't have the energy to cook anymore, so you inevitably surrender and just start ordering takeout every single night. Step 3, you've got to buy nicer suits to fit in at all those endless executive meetings. And step 4, your stress levels are absolutely skyrocketing, so suddenly you're booking a much more expensive, lavish vacation just to numb the pain and escape your daily reality.
And this brings us to a really important and honestly pretty heartbreaking concept. It's called decompression spending. Now, this isn't just buying things for fun. No, this is the money we spend specifically to heal the damage that the job is inflicting on our psyche. It's a completely empathetic, understandable reaction. You are pouring your life energy into this hyper-demanding role. So these expensive purchases, the takeout, the luxury car, the lavish trips, they are really just desperate attempts to tolerate a deeply exhausting job. It's literally the cost of maintaining your sanity.
Which leads us to this truly painful irony. Before you even realize it, your real hourly wage actually goes down after you get promoted. Seriously. Yes, technically you are processing more money through your bank account every month, but you are keeping way less of it. And even worse, you are giving up significantly more of your life and your precious time just to get it. But you keep signing the lease on the fancy apartment, you keep paying the massive note on the luxury car, and the trap just snaps completely shut. You haven't bought financial security. You've just locked yourself into a much more expensive set of golden handcuffs. Because now you need that exhausting job just to pay for the things you bought to help you tolerate the job. It's wild. So, how do we actually break this equation? Because the whole system totally relies on you being just too exhausted to sit down and do the math. It relies on you being a passive consumer of your own life. To escape this cycle, you have to fundamentally flip how you see yourself. You've got to stop viewing yourself merely as an employee spending a paycheck, and you need to start treating your labor like a business.
There's this great saying that perfectly captures this whole idea. A smart business owner doesn't just try to increase revenue, they try to increase margin. Guys, your life is the business, and your margin isn't just the leftover cash in your checking account. Your margin is the time and the money you actually have left over to just be a human being at the end of the week. Focusing only on getting a raise is focusing strictly on revenue. If your costs rise right along with it, your margin stays totally flat or it might even shrink.
Let's put some really stark math to this to put it into perspective. If you are generating $100,000 a year in income, but you are spending $95,000 just to maintain your lifestyle, and you are working 80 hours a week to generate that money, mathematically, you are a failing business just waiting to collapse. Literally, one unexpected shock to the system, and those golden handcuffs are going to drag you straight under. So the actual secret to escaping the trap isn't to reject the raise, right? It's all about what you do with it. You need to build what's called a one-income foundation. Here's how it works. You structure all of your fixed, non-negotiable monthly expenses so they fit entirely within your old baseline income. Then, when that sweet new money from the promotion comes in, you bank it. You do not inflate your lifestyle, not even a little bit. You let that baseline cover your costs, and every cent of that new revenue goes straight into your margin. And when you resist that intense, crazy social pressure to spend like someone in your new tax bracket, every single dollar you save and invest from that raise does something absolutely incredible. It buys back your optionality. You aren't just hoarding money in a bank, you are buying the flexibility to step back, to take a massive career risk, or to actually have a true, genuine choice in your life. You buy the peace of mind of knowing that, hey, you can effortlessly survive an unexpected transmission repair rather than being one mechanical failure away from a total financial meltdown. And that is pure freedom.
Now look, of course, this doesn't happen overnight. In the short term, yeah, for sure, it requires sacrifice. It means driving right past those beautiful houses that you technically qualify for on paper, but absolutely should not buy. But if you hold firm, you move into the midterm, where those bank dollars become investments that actually start generating their own income, and eventually you hit the long-term magic. That's when compounding takes over entirely, and suddenly you've achieved genuine financial security that isn't dependent on you grinding out 80 hours a week.
So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Next time you get paid, I want you to look at your paycheck and ask yourself honestly, what are you actually buying with this money? Are you just buying another link in a set of golden handcuffs, or are you buying back your optionality? We are all caught in this exact same trap. But if we audit our lives and aggressively cut those vampire costs, we can totally math our way out of it together. If exploring this changed how you view your next paycheck, do me a huge favor and share this explainer with a coworker who looks tired. Trust me, they probably need to hear this just as much as you did. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.